To be able to
Miss anything?
place the order. Like,
Oh,
leave my house. By the time I got there.
And you should save the list that you.
The last two times I got there and I waited like an extra 15 minutes. And I got, "Hey, just keep it smartphone." I don't.
This way? Yeah.
I see all that.
And we had a contractor doing for last year.
Good to go for this one.
Yep, we're good to go there. And today, I saw that email.
Don't have like 35 dollars. If you know, I'm going more often, like, you have to pay for it. You don't get that.
There you go. That'll calm me down.
6:30.
All right. I love to hear all the side conversations and the camaraderie, but we do have a meeting that we have to get to. And it's 9:03. Kim's all set up with the virtual and recording. So we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We do have some newer faces in the room, so I think we'll go ahead and do introductions. So I'll get started and we'll just go around. So I'm Kelly Goward. I work for the ODC network and serve as the chair of this committee.
I am Tom Mahoney and I'm with Republic Services and I am a representative on the Recycle Center side of the team.
I'm Carrie Bliss. I lead sustainability for PADNAS, and I believe we are the industrial processor for this one.
Yes,
So I'm not confused.
yeah. I don't think it's called it, but yes.
I'm on more than one of these. It
Yeah.
makes it complicated.
Waste diversion facility.
There we go. That's what we are.
Dan Forsman, Sustainability Manager for the City of Holland. Presenting official.
Morning, Paul Sachs, Director of Strategic Impact for the county, and I believe I'm Regional Planning Representative.
Yes, it is.
Ron Francis, Interim Deputy Administrator, not formally a member.
Any like donuts?
Yeah, thanks for the donut.
Oh, yes. I felt like it's been a donut kind of month, so.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm Ted Costigan, I'm the supervisor from Fulton Township. I represent township government.
Dan Puma with Organicycle, representing composting.
Nick Carlson with Google Industries. I don't remember what I'm
I think you're
representing.
representing business.
Business?
Yes.
Perfect. That's a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
I'm Bill Moss, I'm county commissioner and then Payne County.
Yeah.
I'm Faith Lundberg. I'm with Ottawa County, the Public Health Department. I just started last week and
Well, welcome.
we're gonna eventually participate, but yeah.
He is our final staff member that we hired in with our grant funding.
Wonderful.
Yes. We have our online public, which, yeah, go ahead. Looks like Matt unmuted, so you're first.
All right. I'm Matt McPherson. I work for Kent County Department of Public Works, and just occasionally sit in on these meetings.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina Miller. I'm work for the state. I'm the materials management planning specialist with Eagle. Thank you.
I'm Sarah Cooper. I'm with Muskegon County. I'm our sustainability coordinator.
Russ Boersma with Aero Waste, representing a hauler on the committee.
Heather Busick with
She's breaking in and out, but I will help her out. And Heather is with Allegan, and she's the DPA for Allegan County. And that's everyone.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. Then our first item on the agenda for action is to approve the minutes from the August 27 meeting.
Second.
Okay.
I'll give it to Dan. Dan got it.
All right, we have a motion and support. Any discussion on the minutes? I will just note in the minutes, Dan Boersma's name is spelled incorrect under item 3 from approving the July minutes. So I want to just correct, spelling.
Yeah, I am not related to Russ.
No, gotta get that extra R in there.
That's because I answered her.
We will fix that.
So just a little. Okay, any other discussion? Favor with approving with correcting Dan's spelling of his name, signified by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. And then we are up to public comment. Do we have any public comment at this point? Anybody unmuting online will have another opportunity toward the end of the meeting. All right, then our next item is to approve the agenda. It's presented. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor of approving the agenda as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. All right, then we've got some discussion items.
Oh,
Take over, Kim.
yes. So one of the things I wanted to bring up is that, I had sent out a letter to Eagle, regarding a few things. The main heart of one of the letters I sent to the director, that I think she's an intern director, and part of it was just requesting, some data that we should have already per the law. And the biggest thing is it's hard to create data when you already should have some data. And one of it is essentially it's basic data set. We already have what's already permitted locations of where all the facilities are. And there should be additional data set and to build on top of it. And the data set that they have, just to know what they have, and so that we can just grow upon it. And then also some more interactions with Eagle. So that when we are growing and building this program, I just want to have more discussions and interactions with the DPAs. And that essentially is what the letter said. I should have probably sent that out to you as well. So what I'll do is follow this up with having that sent out. I will also caveat with they're short-staffed at the sites. That is also part C, but why there's not as many attachments on this as well. But so I will do a follow-up email and send you what that letter looks like. And then if you have any comments, you can send them out to either everyone or just to me, whatever you feel is more pertinent. But so that we have more engagement, and she did respond with that she will set a date in November since I'll be out. So I did have it so that we can have that DPA meeting with all the DPAs, because I did have some suggestions, and I did have the same discussion when I met with Tom and with WM, which was there are some kind of base questions that you could probably discuss that everyone needs. We're all asking similar questions to MRFs and other data set questions of hey, we need these data sets, and we're all asking each other, we're asking the same kind of questions because we all need them to set our base goal. So why can't we just help them out by asking them the questions ahead so that they can start looking themselves, instead of asking each and every single DPA asking them these questions? Why can't we together, or as, just ask them here? So So I did that, and I did get a lot of feedback from other DPAs saying, thank you. You know, like, we appreciate you stepping up because it needed to be done. And they did say that they felt the absence of Eagle, you know, they wanted that support from Eagle and they are feeling it. So they're looking forward to hearing from the response and having that meeting with Eagle. So I do plan to follow up. I haven't heard anything else. So to follow up to see when that meeting was gonna happen in November before I have my leave in starting next week. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew that I did that, and then I'll send that letter out as well. I did that with partnership with the Michigan Recycling Coalition, but I signed it. And I did have my health officer supervisor approve it, of course. Because, you know, it's my name as a supervisor on it, so I want to make sure the county was okay with it.
So Christina.
Yeah, go ahead, Christina. Sorry, I didn't look up there. Go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I should speak or not because I know you have packets of public comment. So it's
Oh,
technically
yep, no.
public, right? So
Hmm.
anyways, yeah, so I represent Eagle obviously, and
Hmm.
I also am aware of the concerns that Kimberly is having and the other counties. I wanted to just let folks know that we do have some things available online. They're not as robust as we were hoping they were going to be. The county profiles, which I know you're aware of, Kimberly, are out there, which came from the mega data. And then we have facility descriptions out there now, but they're not as complete because we're waiting for the final round. This is the first round that all facilities are required to report to us, and they're all required to report by November 15th of this year. So our anticipation is we'll be able to update the facility descriptions and get those online probably January. So after we try to get everybody into the system reporting. So you'll have that, you'll have like location type of materials they collect, who they service, hours of operation, all that stuff, like a facility description type of information is in there, contact, all that. And then I've been told that if you are seeking data that's in Retrack, which is the platform that our facilities are reporting to, and or the mega data behind the scenes, you can ask Rhonda Oyer for that request, and then they should be able to give you something. Noting that the Retrack data will not be full, like technically won't be complete until the reporting cycle happens. I just wanted to kind of give you a couple of those updates. And I also internally believe that I think that there's some confusion with the letter and the November date. I don't think that it was clear that you wanted the entire group to meet with Eagle in November. I'm just saying that because like I asked you when your date was scheduled because I thought you had a date scheduled. Does that make sense? The next scheduled date for your DPA group is December after the October one, I believe. So there was some confusion with that.
Yeah.
No excuses. I'm just telling you what I know.
Nope, understandable.
Christina, if we wanted to just look at the current state of the mega data that's available, is there an easy link to follow if I just Google Eagle mega data? Will I find it?
Yeah, and I can send you as well.
I can put it in the link too. I mean, I can put it in
Perfect.
the chat. Yeah, I'll do that. I can also put the facility descriptions. I could share my screen and show you where the stuff's at, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'll give it to you in the chat. And then that was like a synopsis. The county profiles from the mega data was a synopsis of the data that they that our consultant we hired to do this put together. there's a whole bunch of data that it was on the back end that we have in Excel spreadsheets. And it's crazy amount of stuff in there. I mean, you can imagine there's many worksheets, lots of data. So they were trying to, instead of putting these Excel spreadsheets online, you know, locked of course, so you can't manipulate them, they're trying to put it in a platform that was easier to digest, to search and do those things. And it just wasn't that activity wasn't able to have, or that to figure out how to do that best did not come to fruition. So so there's that. And then so I said, well, let's just get them out there. Let's put these crazy spreadsheets out there for people to see, and if they want to query, look, they can at least look. But just as a reminder, you know, this was the mega data was supposed to be baseline to basically tell you what we knew at the time, and it happened right around COVID, which is unfortunate. That's just the truth. And so there was a lot of activities that we had anticipated, that our consultant was going to go out and do outreach and gather, that all those meetings had to be canceled. So it is, you know, I know that it's not complete. I know that they're, you know, obviously we're talking 5 years later. So the data, even if they had a volume or something in there that wasn't extrapolated, it's still 5 years later. So, you know, I mean, so the world's changed a little bit since then too. So, but anyways,
I know in the past, one of the things that I've personally struggled with is the descriptions. You know, Padnos is a pretty unique type of recycling operation on the industrial side, and we don't fit neatly in any of the descriptions. Like it is really challenging for us. So I've spoken to a number of people over the years at Eagle, and no one has agreed with exactly. I mean, like even internally, right? So that makes it hard. Like I just want to look at it and see what it has or doesn't have, and if there's ways that I can easily help correct things. Just talking about access, you know, we found a few areas with the Kent County that were just slightly off, and I can fix that, you know, like, cause we do a lot of different things, but we're not doing curbside, so.
yeah,
it's-
so my suggestion to you is that for any facility who's not a regulated facility, right? So, but they do good stuff. They're recycling a ton of, you recycle.
I'll take pots and pans, for example, right? Which is something a household member might have.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I would say there's a couple ways that you can report. Number one, you can report right now under the Part 175 as a recycling establishment, as a voluntary reporter there under that, but you could report.
It's not accurate, 'cause my data is not segregated by like household versus industrial. It's not separated, like, so.
Oh.
People give us stuff in big lumps of piles of.
Yes,
thousands.
commercial,
That's-
but don't you take
yeah.
a lot of like commercial cardboard, Meyer and those type of things too?
Very
Yeah.
little. It's
I
a very
think-
small portion of our business.
Oh.
See, and that's something that we can, and that's where I think Tom and I were kind of talking, and that's something that maybe us as a materials management plan for Ottawa County might be able to figure out, at least for Ottawa County in our plan, segregate that data in our plan. Because I was thinking about that when I was talking with Tom, materials management plan for Ottawa County, if we can be creative in our Ottawa plan and have it, if you're capable of doing it, and if we have in our retrack system, if we get it, a way that she can report hers, and then we have a separate number for it. Because we talked about maybe here's the Eagle system and meets the Eagle thing, and then have an Ottawa County, because for example, you have scrap metal at our
Right.
site.
It's easier for you to
and
report
that-
on that than it would be
Yeah.
for me in theory.
Yeah,
then
because
we're not-
we-
Cause you
yeah.
know it's from community members.
Yeah.
Versus mine is all mixed together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a certain level where Ottawa County can segregate. And then if you get your sites, like for example, if you get commercial, you have commercial accounts that you might have where it comes from certain,
Very,
Yeah.
very little.
but still, but
Meyer is,
Yeah.
they're big.
yeah.
But on a lot, I mean, everything else
Yeah.
is industrial.
But at the
All
same
industrial.
time, there might be some things where you could do that you could report as certain things. But there might be ways to do, at least for Ottawa County and our plan. So, but that's
Yeah,
what,
and-
like, when I had a meeting with Tom, that was one of the things I was gonna talk about too, but with data, but there might be ways that you could get creative in a materials management plan way, at least for reporting.
There's that, and you could add a diversion rate. So the activity you do at PedNose is diversion, right? You're really diverting from being landfilled. And so how you do that, you
Represent
give
our
them the
diversion.
numbers, yeah, and not just them, but all types of activities that are not MSW recycling, which is your residential like materials being recycled, because there's a lot of good activity out there going on with other businesses even. So add that to create a diversion rate in their county plan and use the industrial sector, get those numbers. So something you would have as your baseline, and then you can keep building on that and promoting the fact that you're doing good work and diverting this material from being disposed. You know what I mean? So like for not just you, but any business or anybody who contributes, showcase that as an item as well. But that way you can track that and give it as have a industrial set of goals for, because I know there's businesses out there that are zero waste zero waste folks, or they do other things. Those things can be added to your plan as good activities that are happening. I mean, that you can, and then you could track it by adding it to your diversion rate, which is separate from your recycling rate, obviously. But I'll be here all meeting. So I put the two things in the chat, the mega data, and then I put all the facility descriptions that we had to date. So it's not a complete list. It's not pretty. It's just all it's just a query that is there, and you can search by your county and you can see what's in there, or you can look at your neighboring counties to see what facilities are located in a neighboring county that might be able to manage your materials as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And if we have questions like this from like any of our MMPC, is it okay if I give them your contact information so they can send it to you? Or if they send it to me, can I send it to you so that
Yeah, just send it to my Eagle-MMP.
MMP? That makes more sense. Yeah, that way if
the
any
Eagle
of them.
Yeah, our main
MMP.
email box.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Although
gotcha.
Amy's leaving, I'm gonna be the only one at the time, but still I'd like to everything's funneling into that box.
Makes sense. Yeah, that way if anyone can get to it faster. Yep, I gotcha. Yeah. So if you have questions like that, we can send it to them. Yeah, so the letter to Eagles, so we can try to get more of those kind of engaging questions. But yeah, those are great questions, because we're trying to, and that's I guess it kind of leads into, we're trying to get, and another thing is I have a broader definition of what me and Christina had talked recently as well about data, and some of my I think Eagle's definition when it comes to the MMP is more facility-based data. Whereas some of my definitions, and when I'm looking at data, I'm also looking at it in regards to more like or what the county. I should probably also make sure we can see the chat, guys. I just heard the chat noise. And we can't see it.
It was me
Sorry.
again. I added the email.
Oh, it's
I was
all right.
there.
So, but and some of the things, and I talked to Nick a little bit ahead of time earlier, is some of those questions that we asked for infrastructure, or what do we want to know when we're doing other activities ahead of time, such as like how far do we want to go? How does a resident want to go? So like my biggest question I've discussed this, because the easiest one I think about is, how willing is a resident willing to go to a facility? So like if for like I normally use like my drop off centers, but for like a MRF, you know, a MRF might want to know a certain level of questions. For example, the easiest one too is, here's a good one. What is recycling? We all assume everyone knows what recycling is, but at the same time, they don't. Like, for example, I think scrap metaling, I've started adding the word recycling to a lot of our educational materials so that people understand, like, I use like, scrap food recycling for composting, so that people are getting the idea that we're also talking about composting and scrap food as a recyclable item, so that they can kind of see that, and scrap metal as scrap metal recycling, that they kind of are seeing that we're recycling that it's not just trash, that it's a recycling, or we're recycling that scrap metal, that, so they kind of see that as a recycling item too, like that it's part of this reuse kind of concept, you know, so that it's not just those household curb, that recycling is more than just one, just not single, you know, I don't know, that is more than just one item. So,
I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying.
yeah.
My concern I end up with that,
Mhm.
right, is the motivations of the people doing the work is really different. When you're talking about curbside, that's the type of recycling that is always gonna be a cost for someone. whether
Yeah.
the Community members are paying it directly, or they're paying it through tax, or they're paying it, you know, however, there's a cost to doing that type of
Yeah.
recycling.
Yeah.
Where when you're doing a home renovation or a garage clean out, or, you know, you're bringing that stuff in, it's not being picked up
Yeah.
at your home.
Yep.
You're usually getting paid for that material, and and the
Yeah.
materials themselves are radically different, and so that is so confusing to people. Because
Yeah.
then they get confused, they think they can put that pot or pan and they put in their Republic cart, and they can't.
Yeah, and see, and that's where all they find. So, and that's where you put the pictures. So, and that's where all pictures come from. And so, and that's where messaging, and so, and that's where really unified messaging. And that's very hard. So, yeah.
So we often go to
Mhm.
these thinking about these concepts,
Mhm.
things better. I'm still at this stage of wanting to understand the base framework. Like, and so you mentioned data, you sent that letter to Eagle to get data. Do you have somewhere a list of all these data elements that we want? And we check it off in a matrix, be like, yep, get this from here, get this from here, get this from here, nope, we need these. Can we start there? And then that link that she shared has this infrastructure. It's a really good download that the state did this infrastructure assessment of Ottawa County, and it lists all the facilities, where they are. There's a map.
That takes 5 seconds. That's, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
know,
yeah,
I'm just saying,
yeah,
reference
no.
point, so, because then
Yeah,
love to just get us to the point.
yeah.
Can we just see the data and start from there, what's being collected? Because we've talked about
Yeah.
it a lot.
No, yeah. So, and what I'm getting at, so that is what I'm working on. So,
Okay,
So,
is there
yeah.
a list of data, elements that you want, do we have that?
I guess, so
What data do we need?
lots,
Okay,
Yeah,
do we
so-
have a list of it?
a list of it. That's what my team is gonna be working on while I'm gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Question on the Eagle
Yeah.
side,
yeah.
do they need to do an update of the data?
They're working on it, but so what I'm trying to say, which I haven't got a chance to say it, is, and sorry, Christina, and I know this is part of what that's what I'm trying to get Eagle to understand. So Eagle only sees the easy GIS stuff. And that's the problem, is what Eagle sees I can do and talk to GIS, and that can be done. In my mind, I can talk to GIS and I can get a map of facilities, information and infrastructure, and talk to my municipalities and see what composting facilities and operations probably within a week. So the stuff that they can have, I think I can get done in a week. It's the list that you're talking about that you said, all right, do we have a list of? That's the stuff that I would hope Eagle says, and they're the ones that are saying, all right, to utilize you guys and say, all right, Tom, what are the MRFs that are out there? All right, I can tell you right now, it's you and Ken. All right, that's pretty easy. And there's pad notes for, scraps. So it's like, that's the list that I think that you're kind of talking about, which is all kind of just there and stuff. So and then the data and stuff is like what we're gonna go for the road show. And I'm trying to get in the conversation that we're talking about too. The road show is gonna be, and there is nothing that's more like, it's the stuff that we're doing in this kind of stuff is not as black and white and list making that you can do. It's a lot more kind of arbitrary type stuff. And that's what we're working on. And it takes a little bit more time to create that list because it is a more goal setting. It's kind of like your type of items. And the bandwidth I don't have, which now I have the staff. I just got the materials managed, but at the same time, the site staff, which after I'm done, I'm gonna be working at the sites. So I'm doing 5 positions as one person. And so, yeah, and I know you understand that too. Yeah,
Yeah, I like.
But-
Means.
I know.
What is it that we need to collect? We're talking about it a lot, so there hasn't. been
Yes.
Some.
It's because
kind
the
of
state,
baseline.
doesn't give me what I need. And that's why I wrote the letter, asking the state to give me what we need. And that's why all the DPAs are like, thank you, because the state hasn't given it to me. There is nothing. The state has given us nothing.
So it's the process, so we are
That's,
kind of early-ish, kind of. in the
yeah. Go ahead,
stage
Christina.
process.
But yeah,
So we're just trying
So
to
go ahead, you
encourage,
finish your,
just encouraging momentum, basically.
yeah, that's what I'm asking the state to do.
And so some coordination with DPA sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Is that why it sounded like maybe you were hoping maybe it could be November, which is a little earlier than December? But either November or December sounds great.
yeah. In December, the state wants, per the timeline, in December, we're supposed to have a plan.
like, that's not necessarily, it's probably closer to March, February, March, that you will have a plan drafted if you're going to use the timeline. And so there's a couple things here.
Yeah.
I know we've talked, Kimberly,
Yeah.
but so the mega data project costs a lot of money to do that project. There's no way we're gonna, at this point, they're not paying someone to update that data. That was really meant to be a baseline for counties to come in to see that there's 2 facilities listed for this and 4 haulers for that. And then this group comes together and they say, yeah, we're missing Jim's hauling. That's not on the list. Or we're missing this facility. What about this new person wants to start hauling food waste or food scraps? So this group is supposed to be the stakeholder group kind of filling in those gaps. And to me, like, I had a long conversation with someone yesterday about, again, like the data is what you need it to be. So whatever you can get on a normal basis is what it can be. And if there are gaps in that, use those gaps as a goal. The goal to not just divert materials, but to collect data for those materials so that you have control of what the data that comes to you. Because obviously when these facilities are reporting, at that point, the law says that you have to get access to that database or that information, the data that's in there. It's not complete yet because they haven't gone through that round, the reporting round. So there's that. And I realize, so some of just so folks understand, some of that we've been absent is the fact that I was having monthly work group meetings with the DPAs, and then that was shut down. And I don't know, I'm being 100% honest, I don't know if that's going to take place again. I know that Kimberly and MRC have taken that lead role. And so if we can feed into that and help out where we can and be agenda items or however, that's where I think that's more doable at this juncture right now because it is almost October. And so we're in this weird situation with that, right? But the data that we have is what we have right now, and I know we're going to have more when the reporting cycle comes through. And at that point, again, that's January. That doesn't mean you can't set your baselines. So like planning to me is pretty simple in general. It is where are you at today? What's your baseline? What do you know? Where do you want to go? Like what goals are you going to set knowing those baselines and that infrastructure, reporting information, mechanisms, special events, facilities that may exist, programs that are doing good things at the municipal level, whatever, all those things are the things is your baseline. Figure out where you want to go and then fill the gaps by creating mechanisms and setting goals to achieve what you want to see. And make sure you have a citing process in there, which we are working on guidance for that. And then know that the law requires, number one, counties to go through this every 5 years without the director's initiation, which is a positive thing. Previous law didn't do that. And then the second thing is you can amend your county plan at any time, and there's a fast track and amendment process that if it's going to help divert materials and your recycling and set your goals, you can do that faster than going through an entire planning amendment process. So there, it doesn't have to be as robust as you need it. I think you need to think about these things, utilize the tools we have out there, because there's a lot of tools out there, and we're working on getting you access to the data. That's all I can say for that. And I'm guessing that's going to come out in January after that round of reporting happens. And I do hope that we can be included in some DPA agenda items.
I still feel like it'd be super helpful.
Yeah.
What data would be.
Yeah. And I was gonna show you guys some of the data, because I know that's one of the things you guys asked for, is like, what data have I gotten? So you can see some of the work I've done.
Less about the actual data.
Yeah.
Categories. Yeah, so I'd love to just see it to start, because we throw out a lot of ideas. Steve just threw out a breakdown of ideas and considerations as well.
Yeah.
How are those being honed and listed, documented? So as we continue to talk each meeting, what are these ideas that we have? And let's start to list those so we can keep track of them.
Yeah.
And my understanding that part of this is documenting just what's there. Is that a big part of it?
Yeah, essentially it's documenting all the facilities and stuff, which is why I'm trying to get the software, which I can't get to the software until the budget was approved, which was last night. So that's part of the problem, was I didn't have a documenting software. So part of it is it's the budget.
So what Christine was talking about, so they mapped all the facilities and everything. It's all there. So it's just trying to get that data and then pull it into ArcGIS, because I can.
Oh, I already have that. Yeah.
Right. So what are you trying to do on document facilities?
Documenting facilities, no, that's nothing. That's not.
Okay, you said you wanted to do that. So I'm just wondering, because this all has great lists of things. And for me, I've not seen this map.
I've showed that map several times. Yeah. Yeah, I've showed you guys that map before. I guess I don't.
Yeah, was this?
Yeah, I've actually showed that, and I even heat mapped it with population density. And I've even showed it with overlaid with recycling, and I've overlaid it with
So are those maps, are they in SharePoint, so we can start to look at those things again?
Yeah.
It's just, yes, if we can.
And I've overlaid it with trash hauler.
Continue to process this in between each meeting and have to get access to that information.
Yeah.
Huge.
And I've also met with our F&V, which I haven't had a chance to talk about yet.
What's that?
F&V is our consultant, which I was gonna, No, I can say Fleece and Vanderbeck too, if you, yeah. Like I said, I've done a lot this month, yeah. 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 Yeah, I've done a lot this month. I just haven't.
I think, I want to make sure that you and I are on this page, because what I'm sort of hearing as an undercurrent here is that we may already have most of what's required to put into this plan.
Yeah,
At least for the minimal viable product that's gonna get us a green light or gold star from Eagle
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we're getting a little confused between what is a must have and what would be
Yeah.
nice to have and what we want to be ambitious to like try to improve things. And because we're not clearly stating like which box they go in, sometimes we go in a little bit of circular, because yeah, it would be nice to have all these other things, but I
yeah,
think we want to get the plan over the finish line first. Am I saying that?
yeah. So, and I've said this a few times. So this is the thing, I'm not sure if you guys recall how much work it is to get it approved. So we need to so there's the nice, which we can get it over the finish line, cake, 8 pages, easy. But I'm not sure if you guys remember how many people have to approve it.
Yeah.
It's every single municipality, and that's where that's where a lot of the work is. Yeah, so, and then the board, yeah,
Then the simpler we make the plan, the easier that process is gonna be.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but then it takes, yeah. Yeah, so and that's what we have to decide. We can make the simplest and easiest plan. And that's great. And if that's what you guys want to do, we can do that. And then in 5 years again, we're stuck with that for 5 years.
Well, she just said,
Yeah.
though, it's very easy to amend. So if we
It is.
get started with.
Then we
that,
amend it. To amend it,
You have to get the approvals again.
yep, we have to get all those approvals again, and it takes about a year. So it'll take another whole year.
Yep.
And then we'll have to go through all that process again. And then you'd have to re-educate and then, so that's the whole process again.
But that actually might be a benefit. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say that is
Mhm.
we're continuously, so we put out something of what we,
Mm-hmm,
and then and even as we submit it, we already know we're gonna have to change it. We already know that the things, then we say, okay, that's great. You do the roadshow and the municipalities all
Mhm.
check off on it with the knowledge that next year we're probably gonna be doing this again. And it's more of an education for each. You want more people to recycle, you keep
Continuous
re-educating and keep being involved. So that
Mhm.
might be a benefit to us to continue to do that
mm-hmm,
and be okay with something simple to start and then amend it almost every year until we feel it's, you know,
mm-hmm.
It actually sounds like circular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
what's the simple plan?
yeah,
What's that information?
yeah. That is essentially you set a certain amount of goals. The biggest things are the core of the plan, essentially, and I'm saying this in the most simplest manner, is the setting your goals, and that would be, and how I visualize it, and this is how I visualize it, is your core data set, which would be facilities, and then your core goals. So what does the county want set as their goals for the plan, and how are you gonna achieve it? Because you have to make it achievable. And your data set in the sense of facilities, infrastructures, those.
Can we get
And
away with
those- saying
saying our goal is for the Ottawa County communities to fully understand the resources of the county? Like, that's our first
Yeah,
goal.
so how I saw it is the goals, yeah,
Education.
yeah, the goals are kind of what I have essentially is what you guys did in your little,
The workshop that we did.
your workshop. And then it would be going out and seeing if those kind of align with the community.
That's the road.
That's the road show element.
It's a 2026 roadshow.
Yeah, that's what so while I'm going, and that's what, while I'm out, is what my team will be essentially, that's kind of what in my mind, is kind of what Paul was getting at, is that we want to see the timeline, and then that's also what while I'm out to my IT team, and they're gonna be working on, so that when you guys go on to the SharePoint, you'll be able to see like that ticker tape of like, here's the thing as part of it, like I said, we're kind of short staffed and I'm leaving for a little bit. You'll be able to see that. We're gonna be working on them actually being and putting all that type of stuff in there. And then, I'm hiring hopefully someone. We interviewed yesterday to help with the staff stuff on the field. And then, so then we'll be able to, you guys will be able to see that type of stuff. And then we'll set that and we're gonna work with like business partners too, kind of make sure that our business alignment kind of stuff too. So to make sure our goals essentially set with the county, because we don't want to make sure your guys' are lining up too, because we don't want to be kind of essentially hypocritical. I don't like, I like to make sure we're at least aligning and set it, goal set. Then that's the most basic kind of version in my mind of it. And then essentially, and then reinforcement mechanism. And that would be the ordinance portion of it. So there's the financial part that we're not involved with it, and then we would amend that part, I think you would amend it technically, because we would have one. And then update that to align with the reinforcement part of it. Because I think that is also part, and I'd verify that and read the law, because I think you have to make sure that there's an enforcement part of it.
There's also you didn't mention this as part of the mechanisms, but you'll need to add a citing process for facilities. For all materials management facilities, which include not just landfills, but processing, transfer stations,
Yes.
compost,
Yeah.
anaerobic and MRFs, and waste diversion centers. So,
All right. In my mind,
Yeah.
that's like a carryover. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's a carry. So we'd update essentially that portion from the old version to the new version.
That'd be for any new sites. That
Yeah,
would be
for
it.
site.
Yes, yeah,
It might be good to send out those MRC guidance documents that we did with Kim. Just like as we're talking through this, we.
MRC,
Put them in the SharePoint.
yeah, yeah,
Just something.
oh, yeah. But yes, so, and then, so update and verify, Outsiting and new. Yes. Yes. So it would be all that stuff.
So just to understand, are we going to try and figure out what the minimum, or not the, I hate to use the word minimum, but like what's required?
Mm-hmm.
And not wait till it's perfect before we're submitting and you're doing your roadshow, or I just know that
Yeah,
if you wait till it's perfect, I mean, it never gets done. At least for me,
yeah,
it leads to procrastination or over analysis. So just trying to figure out, going back to what Paul was saying, that, as we go through and you're doing your road shows, is it, hey, here's what the state's requiring, and we're educating, saying more likely next year we'll be coming with a enhancement, the following year another enhancement as we continue to evolve? Or
my thought during the roadshow was you're always still working on it. I mean, it wasn't gonna be like, here's the end product. So the problem, my thought was we'd still be working on it at the same time as the roadshow. The roadshow idea was mainly, here's education, we're gathering data, we're providing data at the same time. It was essentially provide, educate, gather, essentially do all of it at the same time, still working on it.
is the roadshow like right before that city or township would be voting on it? Is that how you're timing it?
The voting will be at the very end. Essentially, you can't vote at the same time as make sure essentially it's when the vote's coming, when it does come, you gotta do it.
It's like the coordination.
Yeah.
So much coordination that has to
Yeah.
happen, so much back and forth over a year or whatever it is. Roadshow, like when you hit Zealand or whatever.
Yeah.
That you might be there for an initial education or initial exposure, but that's not gonna be.
Okay.
So you have to, however that looks, I can pick off
Yeah,
of the ongoing
yeah,
discussion.
yeah,
Cause then maybe if you go to Holland and they're like, hey, well, have you thought about this? And it's really pertinent, then
mhm,
you know, might tweak something and build that back in
Yeah.
over the next 6 months. You
Yeah.
keep people updated.
yeah,
I thought it was roadshow timing to, like, right before that municipalities would be voting, so that way they knew what it was.
yeah.
Might
And
have to happen again.
it might, yeah, it might be. And so, and what I was gonna try to bring up too is my hope was not to have every single municipality. I was gonna try to use these guys. So here's like the sustainable business groups and stuff, a lot of the businesses. And then municipality groups. Cause if I can do less is more. And in theory too, you also hit up some of the surrounding counties, you know,
Mhm.
townships. But like MAC and whatever this acronyms would call them be, but you get more bang for your buck.
It's like more exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was my plan. I had one of, I stole someone else's internship in public health, to help me with this. Because that's what I do. And, so I, did this and then I can, and with this, I can found groups, businesses. So yeah, so I can, again, get, and then also I know all these people talk. So again, more exposure. So that was my thought. I don't even know, this one I was kind of like, but at the same time, like I know people, again, if I can get intake and get essentially the messages out too, because my thought with the businesses too, businesses contain people that live in the county, so county businesses, people's intake, you know, and if we get information and data, that can't hurt, so.
What data?
Data, Epi's gonna be working on that while I'm out. I don't have the questions built yet, so. Again, we're in the early stages, so that's part of it. That's like some of the things you're asking, I'm like, we're in the early stages. I just got the funding, I just got, you know, so. So, and I don't, like I said, I don't know if we'll meet. I don't know if we'll meet in October. Like I said, I'm trying to decide, 'cause I won't be here, you know, and trying to decide.
So it's worth, that's when I was gonna have an absence for, because in Tennessee.
Yeah. So, and I was, yeah, I was gonna ask, you guys wanted to or not, 'cause I won't be here. My team might appreciate that too, because we are short and, but yeah. Yeah.
I'm up for good behavior.
Yeah. They might appreciate a break, so. And then it'll give us a good chance to actually maybe present something better in November. Maybe give you a roadshow stuff, so. Or what our plan, so. But yeah, and then. Yeah, so yeah, so we did compile this, we have some like. Here's what we were tackling, this is what we're thinking. And then we did meet with our consultant and gave us some really good ideas of how to really like I said, they thought the same thing, that that's a better way to handle it. And then you can get some really good again, like more bang for your buck. And then I was gonna show that's that, and then I was gonna show you guys another one of these. Love me some Excel. And then I did get, cause government loves data. I did talk to, so we do have some ideas from other haulers. This is the MRF from Kent County. So it is kind of nice to know, like there is actually a Bob's disposal.
There used to be.
Oh, yes, there used to be. Now it's
Okay.
Airways.
South Russell's.
Yeah, not Sussex. Yeah. Yeah. Look at him. Russ is,
You know, Alex
Russ is
waits
going,
in public,
Russ is
right?
going hardcore, man. He's,
Yeah, RMS.
yeah. So, but, so, there is data out there that, it's kind of nice. And I did I talked to Tom, I talked to WOM, so I am out there, gathering data. So, but Ken's, man, it's made it easy for me. Everyone else though, make me work for it. But, so we are getting data. So I just want to let you guys know I am doing data collection. And then another one, you guys did say you guys wanted to see some data, so I want to show you guys I am getting data. And then I am talking to our EPI team and they're helping me with stuff. And then piling it. The only problem is I don't have a nice data table yet to be able to put it all into yet. And hopefully now that my budget's been approved, I will do an RFP and be able to get retract. My idea is to be able to then get retract and then you can tie it in GIS. And then you can click on a point on the map and be able to tie. So it'd be nice to click on like PadNose. And then if you have any reported data or eventually if you start reporting to the county and.
I don't know that we'll have reported data.
So, well, no, so you're thinking state level, but if we want you to report on like the county level, I report my data, because technically I'm supposed to be reporting to the state, which I found out recently. I'm supposed to be reporting to the state per state law, but because we're not communicating that well with the state, I haven't. But then we talked about there's some duplicating data, but technically there's ways to unduplicate it. But I'm supposed to be reporting to the state because I'm considered, I forgot what I'm considered, but with my hazardous waste and stuff, but yes, so I'm supposed to be reporting to the state, but you can report to us in a different way, just as like I said, as a county, we can have you like, oh, we're recovering as our drop-off sites. We could have you report, or I could report your,
I can easily provide you
Stuff.
any data.
Yes.
Material we pick up from your sites,
yeah.
site-specific data.
Yeah, or if we want to report your data for Ottawa County for whatever reason, we could put your data in and we could pinpoint, this is a PadNose site, and then they do that, or just because we
Yeah.
want to know that,
You can do.
because I think scrap metal is very important data, we could put that in there, and you can, or just that, oh, there's PadNose, and pin it, that kind of stuff. You could do that. So there's that kind of stuff you could do. Or any other stuff, or Goodwills, you can pinpoint them and all that kind of stuff. Or dance new drop off sites or all that kind of stuff. All could be in there and anyone can do that. The landfills and compost facilities, all that can be in there.
Yeah,
And-
businesses.
yeah.
Want to voluntarily
Yeah.
report data.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They
And
can.
Myers and all that stuff, like all their bags, or anyone can do that voluntarily, yeah. Which is, really kind of, I don't know, I think it could be really cool, but anyways, but yeah. And then I'll go to C real quick, which is my program updates. We are very short staffed and interviewed yesterday and hopefully found someone to bring us up to staff. And I will bring this table down. Oh, wrong table, that's this one.
Are you able to share your screen, Kim, or no?
With my, yeah, I forgot about that. I can. Would you like to see my Kent County data that I just showed? Is that,
No, that's fine. I mean, I can look
Okay.
later. We could do it later. There's more
Yeah.
people than me on here.
yeah. Yeah, sorry. I just realized it. Want to see if any members want to make a motion to cancel it. Yeah,
We can do that at the.
yeah, at the end, yeah. Good idea, Spencer. Now that I covered up your guys' faces and sorry, Spencer, I didn't see your thing now till I started hearing the blips. So, but yeah, we are working on our getting our sites fully staffed. We changed our hours to accommodate for that, including our Coopersville site is open 1 day a week, full hours. So it's full hours day. And we hope to hopefully change them back eventually once we're fully staffed. And we'll keep it at that. Yep.
Any questions for Kim? That was a lot, so thanks for.
Yes,
stepping
lots of
through all
talking.
that and what she's talked about or anything you're
Mhm.
wondering about that she didn't provide an update on.
I can give you a quick update for, I know you've been working with Amy Karana with the GIS map.
Yeah.
The DPA, the stuff that, she told me it should be done this week is what she said. They've been going diligently with our IT staff to try to get that done. So hopefully that will be available too. So thank you for that effort.
Ah, perfect. That'd be exciting to have. I know a lot of DPAs are wanting to see that.
That's all for discussion items. We can move into committee member updates. And just kind of go around, and if anybody has things they want to share, you're welcome to. I don't have anything at this point, so.
Ottawa County Farms Landfill had an open house last week and, Ted was there. Flipping burgers, handing out hot dogs, and,
Hey.
we also had, Commissioners Moss and Meadema attend, and it was a great event. Maybe next year you guys can make it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have anything significant to report. Talked enough today.
Good, anybody?
Mm.
Russ, you got any updates for us?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay. Okay, then we, guess we'll move on to our, second opportunity for public comment. So, anybody, non-committee members have anything? For public comment?
Should we do something about the October meeting?
Yeah, we'll do that next. Yeah. So we'll make sure there's no public comment. I will just add, a thank you to everybody, online, virtual from our, neighboring counties and partner organizations. It's helpful to have you involved, even if you are silent, at the meeting. We appreciate your presence. Christina, you turned your video on. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
Well, just real quick, I understand the frustration again. I appreciate the patience. This is a new law, lots of new things going on, and we too are short-staffed, and as you can imagine. And with our we changed sections. There's a whole bunch of all the reorg stuff has caused a lot of other delay in some things as well. So I just appreciate the patience that you've had, and I have a good working relationship with Kimberly. I know she's frustrated. It's probably not directed at me personally, but I understand that she's trying to lead this effort with folks, and I appreciate that somebody's doing that as well. And we're always here. We're here if you need us, if you want to invite us to meetings. I mean, I know this is like a standing agenda item, or it's on my calendar, I think, for all of yours, but I also have 83 counties. So so I have other counties too. So I have tons of meetings that I could show up to a meeting every day, all day long for these. And unfortunately, I can't do that. So if you want us to come to specifically be here for something, let us know. We also have a food waste specialist on staff that she could come and talk to your committee about some food waste goals and recovery. And we have our e-waste person's been there forever as well. He does batteries and that, and we have other organics and all of our recycling specialists. So just want to let you know we have a team of people that we're here, and we enjoy doing technical assistance and helping to do this stuff. We are hoping to have a goals webinar potentially, or maybe to participate at the DPA meeting that Kimberly mentioned. But if you want to have a goal setting meeting where you have an Eagle team member show up to help with those, let us know. So we have the opportunity to have staff there to help. So while it seems like we're not there all the time, we're not there the way we used to be, but we are here, and there's a lot of us willing to help. So that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well then, before we adjourn, we have to address whether.
I'd like to make a motion to cancel the October 22nd
Yeah.
meeting.
A second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor of canceling the October meeting? Any opposed? Okay, so then our next meeting will be November.
I think I,
That's one problem for me today.
yeah.
November 19th,
Alright.
what's on my calendar? Okay, so November 19th. And then,
Yeah. I pre-changed that one
okay.
to make sure it wasn't in.
Oh, right, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yep, so the third Wednesday, so that is a change, so it should be on your
Yeah.
calendars already for November
Yes.
19th. But,
Pre-move those. So we-
Okay.
Yeah.
guess with that,
Ah.
we will look for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right.
All right. Thanks everyone online.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.